notion of intersectionality actually comes from criminal studies in the US, where imagine a physical intersection where, imagine a four-way intersection in a traffic where cars are coming from, the left, the right, ahead and so forth. And if there's a collision that happens in that intersection, it could come from either direction. When the notion of intersectionality was conceived, it was with the understanding that we are more than our gender. There's so many social variables that define who we are as individuals. There's the notion of your age, there's your religion, there is your class or, social standing and so forth. There is the identities that make us unique individuals, because the way we navigate life, the way we experience social, situations is as a result of those identities. And so imagine your age, for example, clashing with your gender, or your religion clashing with your marital status to create unique experiences, whether they be digital or infrastructural access, etc. So the notion of intersectionality is extremely important in that at any point in time, a combination of social variables can come together to categorize your experience of digital services in very unique ways. Or a combination of the same identities or even different identities, whether it's your age or your geographical location, the class, etc., they can come together to create marginalized experiences of the digital realm, or they can actually create a privileged experience of the digital services that are available. So intersectionality is a lens that is especially helpful to telecom regulation because it allows regulators to think strategically and to target their investments, because the resources that are being used to bring connectivity, to bring meaningful connectivity, are limited. And so understanding the demographics and their specific peculiarities will certainly support more targeted investments and really stretch the limited resources that are available. So an intersectional lens gives you that. You're able to determine that people who live in informal settlement communities have limited literacy, or their needs are not necessarily that of 5G, and maybe they're very comfortable with a 3G connection. So you can target the investment strategically to fit with the demographic if you have that intersectional lens. It's being able to understand that consumers are diverse in their needs. Everybody has different needs, and that I know that is extremely challenging on so many levels. It is expensive and it's resource intensive on so many levels. At the same time, though, if access is to be meaningful, if access is to really contribute to transformation socially, whether it's in education, it's in health, it's in other services that are available publicly, it needs to be targeted with that intersectional lens that we talked about. Because as we talk about resources that are supposed to be distributed to make digitalization a reality, they're limited in and of themselves. But for it to become meaningful, we need to understand and realize what is socially available, what the needs are from the social perspective to be able to offer the right services and the tailored, needs that are required by the specific demographics. So to make access meaningful, to make it, reach everybody to their level, it has to be diverse. I mean, this afternoon when we were talking about the diversity, equity, and inclusive session, we talked about something as simple as quality of service. And we mentioned the fact that when it comes to channels through which people want to report a quality of service, this is also very gendered. It's also generational. We have the Gen Zs, the young people between the ages of 16 and 24, who are very comfortable doing everything digitally. They use biometrics to access digital services freely to the level that millennials may not, or older even generations do not. So when it comes to quality of service, they would be very comfortable, for example, using social media and other online platforms. Whereas when you look at, for example, women, they prefer in-person exchanges. Men, on the other hand, would look at also, for example, also voicing their concerns publicly with service providers and so forth. So there's gendered aspects, even with simple things like quality of service channels, but also there's generational aspects. So think about the fact that even, whatever service you're offering, digital and so forth, you need to understand that there's all these nuances, be it gender, generational, geographic, and it all has to do with the type of positions that we get to start life in, because we don't all start life at the same starting point. Various social circumstances have defined our starting point in life, and as such, being aware of that will allow regulators to invest equitably and bring that meaningful connectivity.